Professional hot lap analysis of the upcoming FIA round at Interlagos this Saturday. We've got all week to practice, and the really hot times are 1:28.4 set by B Racer in the Honda NSX. Now, I have personally got the AMG GT3 around in a 1:28.9 with an optimum of 1:28.8, and it's very hard to improve from that. But you don't get the same ability to rotate the car around the corner as you do with the mid-engine cars. But yeah, we're going to analyse this lap and see where time is being lost, or rather where can we find time. So let's check it out. Hard in the braking at the 50 metre board, lifting off slowly, slight adjustment to the brake there, but just enough. Cost a little bit of momentum just trying to get that right. So when you're here, and obviously you get the process of braking just right, and you don't have to make that quick adjustment there with full braking just to get it right. It was a very good adjustment. You were very precise. You didn't unsettle the car too much. So I was really impressed with that, and that's what you want to do. But yeah, if you get that right, you don't want to really go much more curve. You really cut it as much as you can, spot on basically. And here we go. You're holding the throttle just to keep momentum, which is absolutely smack on. Not too much that it pushes you wide. Now, really where the time is lost is you could have carried a little bit more speed through here. And I wouldn't have actually... Can you see the slight pull over to the left here, there? If you just pulled over to the left a little bit, I'd say it's just a bit too much. I would have come into it a little bit more straight. Get the lift off, stamp on the throttle. And here, I actually get the left wheel just on the inside of the curb, only just, because the curb really grips and pulls you in. So by the time you actually flick back over onto the curb, you can hug it super tight, so you can carry just a little bit more speed out of this corner. Moving on, full send, all the way down. Now I like to hit the brakes now, and I feel like you just broke a little bit too late, just a little bit. And so what it meant is your entry speed was high, but your exit speed was a little bit compromised. So I'd brake a fraction earlier, and then I can, yeah, it is a tricky one, but I would have broke a fraction earlier. You had to take the corner a little bit sharper, and we're talking about the finest of details. We would have got on the gas slightly sooner. I like to really hug this wall coming up, so stick really tight to it. Don't go out wide, you don't really need to. Stay really tight. I know that's really good. Now here, what I want to do is actually get the middle of the car absolutely smack bang where the grass and the curb meets. I want the middle of the car going over that point. You can cut the corner that much. So try and get it much tighter, and ultimately you're not so far over to the left. So really you want your left tyre on this black line. You don't really want to be going much wider than that, because you want to come at the next corner, which has obviously got an adverse camber, just pointing as much left as you can to minimise understeer. But when of course you're coming out much wider, you're trying to pull left, and then of course you have to deal with the weight transfer. So you're really swinging the car around here, and then you really did a good job of it in actually getting it in, but you just got that understeer. Just pulled away from the curb there. So we'll see that again. I'll show you the moment where you pulled away from the curb. There. Just pulling away from it. Just a little bit too early, so you want to be pointing a little bit more left at this point. I would be probably hard on the gas at this point here. You're nearly there. I would have been hard on the gas at this point. Just tiny little bit of time lost there. Try not to pull too far left too early. Not too much need, although you're getting the car nice and straight. Now the principle here, there, just when you changed into first gear, it pulled the front in. You nailed it. You just did it a little bit too early. So I think you're on the brakes a bit too early for the corner, which is actually a very tricky corner to get right. I'd have broken there. I can't explain what it was, but the reason why I say you were a little bit early on the first gear change is because you were very close to the curb. If anything, you were nearly getting your right wheel on the grass here. It should have been a little bit wider, but also you would have been on the gas a bit earlier, you had to wait for the curb because of the unsettlement, otherwise you'll lose the rear end. But obviously you didn't get right over here. You weren't able to get full gas. Now I know people like to get as far right as possible to take this corner, but there's all the speed scrubbed off from doing that little transfer, so I wouldn't bother trying to get so wide. As long as you get your left tyre on this curb, it pulls you in, you can lift off a little bit, just like you're kind of doing really. Well, I can't really show you, but yeah, your gas, you're just lifting off a little bit, pulls you in. Here, I would have broken now, yeah, pretty much the same as you, but I think you could have been on the gas a fraction earlier. So I'd actually hold the throttle. Here, hold it halfway, hold it, 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 stamp on it. Because you can get right over to the right there, so you just lost a little bit of time there. But all in all, it's a really solid lap, because the net result, I mean, let's have a actually look at the lap time. Pretty competitive. There we go. 1:29.345. So, you know, we're talking about 3/10 off of my time. It's minimal, and I swear to God, everything I pointed out, that's exactly where you'll get your 3/4. Absolutely. So yeah, really, really sexy lap from Dennis. I'm sure it can be even sexier than that. But the crucial thing, of course, is consistent lap race pace. And the AMG, I can testify, in race trim, it feels absolutely sublime. Absolutely sublime. I'm really, really looking forward to this race on Saturday. So yeah, that's how we are, and I hopefully see you soon. Toodles.